Good afternoon, everybody. I am going to go ahead and take a minute to introduce the people that we have on our show tonight. A very special night tonight. First off, as always, we have Mr. Samuel with his show tonight, and then with Mr. Samuel, we have Ken. Say hi, Ken.
Hey, baby.
And then we have Miss B. So
Hi,
this would
Ma.
be an awesome, awesome show tonight. So I'm going to fingers crossed. No, that is not. Not me. Okay, we'll just leave it like that. Sam, go ahead and start reading.
Yes, ma'am. Well, tonight I'm basically doing a touching up on things. It's not extremely in detail, but I try to keep it as general and try to get as many sides as I can in many different ways. And this is on Satanism and Satan, but if some of you don't feel comfortable with this, you might not like it. But those of you who are secure in yourselves, I think you might enjoy it. Okay, let me get started. Satanism, by definition, is the worship of Satan. Another definition of it is the travesty of Christian rites in the way Satan being worshipped. It is thought to be a diabolical or satanic disposition, behavior, and activity. The term Satanism has a history of being designation made by people against whom they dislike. It is a term of othering. In different ways, Satanism is not really that way, actually. You can do what you want and how you want, but hurting someone is not a good thing, and to accept the consequences of your actions. Satanism and beliefs is the master of the unholy. People speak of Satan as the master of lies, the morning star, light bringer, Lucifer, son of morning, grand deceiver, the perfect tempter, and the perfect deceiver. In the three Abrahamic beliefs, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, he seeks to have all in what he feels as his kingdom and his throne higher than the creative creators. People speculate that Satan looks like a man that is red with a beard, a terrifying beast, a man with unnatural horns, a beautiful angel, and many other descriptions that can be thought of. Along with that, a very good-looking man called an Adonis. Some say that Satan was casted out of heaven because he would not bow down before mankind. Most of those people said that he wanted to distance himself from God. Whatever the case is, depending on your point of view, Satan was later casted out of heaven along with angelic followers that stood by his side. In certain biblical beliefs, the archangel Michael and the troops overpower Satan and followers, in a way evicting Satan from heaven. Some say that Satan was cast out of heaven because, Satan is a different concept, or Satan. Satan is different in the concept of Satan or Satanists. They see Satan as a sort of heroic bad boy. They see Satan as somebody who is the ultimate truth, the ultimate unconventional truth. They say Satan is the concept of multiple different concepts of worshiping Satan and revering Satan in the way of a higher state of mind to be pursued. For them, Satan is a protector, and the way they see him at times as a friend and even as a confidant through good and bad. With Satanists, Satan has brought them a huge amount of inner peace and content that they would never find with any other faith. In a general sense, like I said before, they find inner peace and they find that tranquility that they've tried so hard in various other different religions. Until the later part of the 20th century, Satan was considered to be very taboo, or one of the most taboo concepts of just about everything. Other ways Satan has divided people in the way of geography, modern day times, certain variations of Christianity and also political parties have certain concepts of belief beliefs and non-beliefs in Satan. Other things that with just the concept of Satan has been done has divided into the way of people separating themselves. People from certain demographics, like that of the South, are 79% more likely to believe in Satan. With that, other geographic locations, such as the Midwestern states, is 64% of those people believe in the devil. Among those statistics of Republicans, 79% of them, 79% more likely to believe in Satan, while 67% do. Along with this, 70% of Catholics are more likely to believe in Satan, while 79% of Protestants believe in Satan also. Modern day science has disproven many incidents that Satan has been blamed upon. Satan has blamed for many other things throughout history. Some of those things that Satan has been blamed for has been famine, sickness, impotency, mental illness, insects, plagues, death, and that list goes on and on. In a general sense, science itself has disproven that he's the man who caused all that through thick and thin. The history of Satanism, depending on who you ask, has a lot of its roots mainly solidified during the Middle Ages of Europe. It was a rather complicated issue, but stood as that of the opposition of the Judeo-Christian God, Jehovah. During the 1600s, it was making its way to North America, and Europe had stayed in the shadows of it all. The Roman Catholic Church judged people as being heretics, witches, and Satanists. People were killed in the most brutal of fashions, such horrible ways of types of torture, and as many people know, as being burned at the stake. And not just witches, but Satanists too, and those who were wrongfully accused. Even whether they did it or not, no one deserves that. The Roman Catholic Church had overestimated the amount of people that there were of various faiths, including Satanism. In those days, you could be charged with that over the pettiest of acts, such as speaking in a bad tongue, reaching for something like a knife in the incorrect way, or even looking at a child the wrong way in the way of what they call the evil eye. Some people took these acts as petty accusations and took and destroyed many lives. Some people noticed that these acts were of pure horror were being done in the name of Judeo-Christian God. Some people thought of this God as making people do these acts. Why not do? But if that was the case, why go to the deity who was allowing this to happen? So to an extent, the Roman Catholic Church and many Protestant churches spawned people to be Satanists and be of other faiths that those crimes were committed. In other words, those people who were wrongful, even if they were that way and they were being executed, well, Satan wasn't doing that to them. Satan was having no part in it. He was there for them, being good to them. And the grand creator, Jehovah, if you want to call him that, he was allowing that to happen, but Satan took offense to that. And to some degree, he protected them. So to add it on to it, why not be a Satanist if Satan is protecting you, helping your crops, helping you do this, helping you do that, and also giving you knowledge of how to do these things. So to some extent, you could say those churches actually did a lot of advertising on showing the good of Satan. There are certain concepts of sects. One of those concepts is Luciferianism. It is not actually Satanism. Luciferianism is not necessarily a religion, but a belief system. It does not necessarily worship Satan, but sort of a model of themselves about the fallen Lucifer. They see him as sort of a model of enlightenment, independence, and being progressive. In many ways, they see him as that of a model of self-reliance. Luciferianism is doing about what you will, but being responsible for your actions. Another reality is that it is about the pursuit of success and taking pride in your accomplishments. It is also about the pleasures of the flesh and also indulgence of what you will, but remembering the concepts of a person's actions. Theistic Satanism is described as a sexy version of being an atheist. In certain ways, it's described as being a more traditional version of Satanism, a more spiritualist version of Satanism, and a more religious form of Satanism. It is considered to be an extension of Christianity, but reject the concepts of teachings of the three Abrahamic faiths, depending on someone's point of view. The groups and individuals that make up theistic Satanism are very loosely governed, along with independent groups that are mostly small. People will say that the Dark Lord is a real entity, a metaphor, and even a symbol and a version of enlightenment. And they have a way of rejecting the three Abrahamic religion faiths in favor of what they call the Dark One. They do believe in Satanism in various ways, while many of them have atheistic view of the entity. Many people believe that Satanism partakes in the way of robe-wearing bestiality and partakes in killing of virgins through any types of actions. Those are those that do believe in this and may even practice it, but they are looked down upon and sometimes even in a vigilante way dealt with harshly. The Church of Satan was founded in April 30th, 1966 of Anton LaVey. Some of those concepts of the Church of Satan of pride, liberty, individualism are that of the person. It is said that this version of Satanism is that of not of the gods, but that of the God that does not truly exist. The power of this is the one person that the power of this is the one person and the fight between the mind and emotions that are of mankind. Worshiping God or God is to worship that which is fiction. In a simple way, it is that of worshiping oneself, atheistic approach in the sort of spirituality. LaVey Satanism was founded by a man named Tom. Many people call this version of Satanism modern Satanism. His approach to Satanism is an approach of self-religion, self-spirituality. I can never pronounce his name, and I apologize, but Jasper Peterson described this version of Satanism as a cousin of the New Age. With this form of Satanism, it describes as being of the elite and the entitled. It is said that also that in this form of Satanism, Satanists are born, not made. The history of the Satanic Temple in 2013 by two friends that go by the pseudonym names of Malcolm Jerry and Lucian Greaves. I think I got that right. Those friends use those names to protect themselves from hate crimes and hateful harassment. They believe that being given the same rights and privileges as Satanists that Christians receive. They also pay the same taxes. They fight in the same military. They deserve, and like, at least in my personal belief, they deserve the same respect and the same rights. But challenging the separation of the church, its history is that of causing deep thought and debate with not just members of the temple, but those that are outside of the satanic community. To add to that, the Satanic Temple has also fought for religious fairness in every part of the world. One of those issues came up in 2012 when the state capital in Oklahoma installed a monument of the Ten Commandments. To support religious fairness, the Satanic Temple demanded a monument of the deity Baphomet, I can never pronounce that right, a deity next to the Ten Commandments. Later, the Oklahoma Supreme Court ordered the Ten Commandment monuments to be taken down. This helped the strategy of the separation of church and state. Even when this was going on, $30,000 was raised to help build the statue itself. The Satanic Temple is an the Satanic Temple has done everything it can to abolish corporal punishment, and schools fought for women's rights to choose in reproductive ways, takes a stand against pseudoscientific practices that are a part of mental health, and have fought against hate groups that do mental health and physical harm towards people. Compassion and empathy is something that the temple that is practiced regularly. Many of those people of the Satanic Temple believe in taking responsibility for one's own actions. With any faith, there is the division in its ranks. The Satanism, another faith, that is also true. But there has been a whole lot of good that Satanists have done, too. One of those is women's suffrage. They're behind the scenes through thick and thin during those many decades and maybe even 100 years, and they have fought for women's rights to vote. It's also been behind the scenes of the LGBTQ community in equal rights as anyone should have. And basically, you are free to love who you are truly meant to love. It's also been behind the scenes of the way of racial justice, and even helping African Americans find freedom through the Underground Railroad that was going on during the 1800s. In a general way, some people that are of alternative faiths are looked down upon by society because they do not practice the three Abrahamic beliefs in some sort of way. Certain faiths have given a long, bloody history to those who do not share the same perspective as the status quo commands. The status quo generally divides people based on geography, and in that geography, they can be quite the dramatic feuds upon people and everything that is significant, everything that is significant and insignificant. With all that chaos, internal squabbling, people look for answers on what is the source of wrong that people never do or even think of doing. It has gone back to the 1600s. Both Protestant and Catholic churches did what they could to have an explanation for things like famine, disease, bad crops, and on and on. They blamed Satan and the servants of Satanism of all of this, oftentimes without any real evidence or relevance as to what their crimes are. Many would be decapitated, burned at the stake, tortured, and the list goes on, is never ending. Over the centuries, people have organized themselves and found alternative faiths, including Satanism. It was till the middle of the 20th century that many of these people came out of hiding and said, this is how we are, and this is what we are. The internet has had an effect on Satanism and Satan. It brought people together from places they would have never gone to. It has also been a dialogue of various subjects that relate to Satan and Satanism. It has shown that there are people that have understanding on these issues of worship and belief. It's also showed the negativity of stereotypes that is unjustly bestowed upon Satan and Satanism. People had a free range of ideas that could go back and forth with people from other parts of the world. In a general sense, it gave people the idea of be who you are and never apologize for it. The open dialogue that Satanism and other faiths have given has been really, if not extremely important, in a way that people finding themselves and finding inner peace with everything they are and have been all their lives. The Satanists, they are not about bestiality, killing virgins. Many of them are about basic human rights and living up to responsibilities that humanity has expected all of us to do, but many do not. There are sects that are various different thought processes, helping humanity, sometimes materials, and even teaching others that not just satanic concepts of morality, but of academics and education. Hard work and self-discipline are a must in Satanism and Satan's teachings. As mentioned earlier, Satan has been there for many in different ways, and not always in the typical form and fashion that you might think of whenever it comes to Satan. There is no amount of value you can put on Satan or Satanism that has given people the ultimate gift of thoughts and actions in the form of inner peace. In a general sense, I have always appreciated Satanism. It is the ultimate honesty within it's the ultimate honesty. And to me, it doesn't matter in certain ways. It is the ultimate in self-help. You are to be there for yourself, you are to be there for others and everything. And Satanism has promoted that time and time again. And like I said before, a few times through this, it is about self-help and self-reliance. Okay, so what do you guys think?
That was an awesome read. Oh, where did Ken go?
Is he okay?
I can't hear you, Miss B.
Uh-oh, we lost Ken.
Uh-oh.
I'm sure he'll be back shortly.
My husband was here somewhere too.
Oh, there he is.
Well, like I said,
that's sad.
To me, like I said, Satanism, I've seen a lot of people that have been horrible human beings enter the human race, have learned compassion, tolerance, respect, and I've seen it so many times. Welcome back.
What happened?
Well, I think there's a little bit of a disconnect here, and I think some of the information that you're getting is colored by a typical religious background. So Satanism in and of itself, at least modern Satanism, isn't the worship of Satan or any demons. It has nothing to do with demonology. It's more a lifestyle. And the basic tenets of Satanism are do no harm, but take no shit. That's the easiest way to sum it all up into one statement. So the Satanic Bible has tenets just like the Christian Judeo Bible does.
Yeah, exactly. The 7 tenets. Yeah. Is that what you mean?
The 9 satanic statements, for example. The 9 satanic statements, for example, is very powerful, very logical, and can be applied to everyday life. The modern Satanism, again, created by Anton Szandor LaVey in 1966, and the Bible that came out in 1969, it's, like you said earlier, is non-theistic Satanism. It's for atheists who, you know, they're atheists, whatever. But the philosophy of Satanism that is written in this book is so fucking legit. It's unbelievable. I believe in the philosophy in this book. I believe in 95% of the philosophy in this book. Some of the stuff in this book is kind of silly. I've said that before on my podcast. Oh, well, whatever. But it's good shit. It's not going out and sacrificing and killing and maiming and hanging and stabbing and murdering and raping and ripping people's throats out and all that crazy shit. It's a good way to live your life by this philosophical Satanism. It's Satanism. It's modern Satanism. Now, even theistic Satanism is extremely fucking it's put in such a horrible light. You think atheist Satanism, non-theistic Satanism is put in a horrible light theistic Satanism, where they actually believe in a living deity called Satan. My God, those fucking poor people, they're dying left and right.
Well,
even today.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's so misunderstood, because Satanism isn't about some sort of hedonistic, do whatever you want, sacrificing babies and virgins type thing. It's really more logic based. It's a little more tit for tat. It's almost as close to Buddhism as you can get, with a little more attachments. It's very karmic driven. Like, there's one non-theistic statement that says, do no harm unless somebody else harms you, and then if you're justified, kick their ass.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll say this much. I've had several friends that have been Satanists. I know a few and everything. And guess what? Every single one of them are great people. Every single one of them. They're the ones who are at the soup kitchens feeding the homeless. If you go to Orlando, you're going to find quite a few of them that are raising money to get at least sleeping bags for homeless people. They are doing that. They get backpacks to people that are homeless also, and to children or teenagers who need all that. If you want to talk about the ultimate in self-help, Satanism, Satan is your guy. Because when was the last time you heard of somebody doing worse after Satanism? Guess what? I've seen so many people do better because they embraced what they are and who they are through thick and thin. And guess what? They became a better person because they were relying on themselves through thick and thin. They were there for their families. They lived up to their obligations. And the thing is, I'm not a Christian. Like just about anyone knows, I have no problem with Christians. I have none whatsoever. But the thing is, I disagree with them on the issue of the three Abrahamic faiths. If you want to be that, that's fine. But if you don't be who you are not. Be who you are, not what you're not. And I've seen people that are huge monsters become human beings again. Like I said, it's the ultimate in self-help faith.
Yeah, I think the key to Satanism, both theistic and non-theistic, is really just live your life while you have it on Earth. Whether there is an afterlife or not, I think that you should enjoy your life to the fullest without doing any harm to others, because it's needless. It really is. Like, there is no need to ever do any harm to somebody else. Like, there just isn't. So I think that if we're living for an afterlife, we're saving up for an afterlife, we're denying ourselves pleasure and excitement and fun for some sort of holy afterlife, like, what really is the point? You know what I mean? So I think that that's where Satanism gets its bad rap, is because it flouts the afterlife. Even if there is a heaven and a hell, I personally don't believe that there is. But if there is a heaven and a hell, like, why just wait until you're dead to do all of your living and to experience your life? Especially if there's the loophole of all you have to do is ask Jesus Christ to accept your heart, and there's that loophole at the end, so you can fix it on your deathbed.
Yeah. So we had from PWI, she had a comment, and probably people put crap out about a sort of people. I assume that's what that was supposed to say. When they do not know the fact. Yeah. So, and that's pretty much it. A lot of people read, but they don't pick up the right books. They'll go to Wikipedia. They'll go to these other false sites and just read what's in black and white, and they'll believe it. They don't want to pick up that book. They don't want to do the proper research. Go to a library, find out the true meaning of what the topic is. And
go ahead.
No, I was just agreeing.
That's what's so hard about it, is because Satan has been made the boogeyman for literal millennium, and people are so afraid because if they think that if they read about it, if they learn about it, then they're going to be damned for all eternity, and that's not what it is. And even if you think about it in a purely logical sense, Satan was cast out because he didn't want to live by someone else's rules. And who really wants to live by someone else's rules? I was raised Christian, and I've seen some horrible, horrible people pass through a church, and I didn't want to live in such a Hippocratic society anymore. I couldn't take the hypocrisy of it, and I didn't want to live by someone else's rules. I think that the kicker for me was how hateful most Christian Judeo religions are to those that are gay. And when I was discovering my own sexuality, I was like, okay, well, why am I so unworthy of love? Because of who I choose to love. And that right there didn't make sense to me. It didn't click. I could not wrap my brain around it. So that's when I started delving into other things, and finding non-theistic Satanism has been incredible because it's simple. It's not hard to follow. It's not hard to understand. There's no old English language. There's no stories about, God asking you to kill your son or burning bushes. It's all logic.
Yes.
Yes. So true. Yes. It is. I learned the same way. Because I was learning about my sexuality as well, and it went the same way. And nobody accepted you if they were Christian. It's not the right way. It's supposed to be a guy and a girl. And I was like, all right, why are you hating on me? You don't even know me.
Exactly.
So now, and then you cross over, and it's like, all right, now it accepts everything. So, you accept yourself for who you are and follow.
Well, like I said, Satanism was behind the scenes of the LGBTQ rights. They have been heavily behind the scenes. They have been behind the scenes of the Underground Railroad, which nobody really talks about.
That's right.
They have been part of the Underground Railroad, like I mentioned. What else? They have been for LGBTQ rights. About taking responsibility. Satanists are about encouraging people to take responsibility for their actions, not blaming it on somebody else.
They're also huge proponents of bodily autonomy. So for those watching, with the whole abortion thing going on, whether you are for abortion or against abortion, bodily autonomy is huge in the satanic community because it's your body. You do what you want. This is your one vessel you get to live your life with. And there are so many, not to talk about a dark matter, there are so many other factors that go into this that it shouldn't be taken away. So if you are a member of the Church of Satan, your rights to abortion are protected under religious rights.
That's right. That's
right. Guys, and the thing is that Satan and Satanists have made a difference behind the scenes time and time again. And like I was saying, women's suffrage, they've been a part of women's suffrage behind the scenes on that. Think about it. Neither one of you two would have been equal to a man. Neither one of you two would. And that's how it goes. And you guys, people of the LGBTQ community, you have a lot to thank for them. Hell, they were getting you guys married through thick and thin even before. Christianity is sitting there. No, it's an abomination. Here's where
everything's an abomination to Christianity. You if you don't have sex missionary style, it's an abomination, and you're going to hell.
If you eat fried shrimp, you're going to hell.
Bottom-dwelling organism, shellfish, shrimp, catfish, which we eat the hell out of it down here in the South, y'all.
And red lobster is a ticket straight to hell.
Yep.
And Leviticus, the book of Leviticus is the clobber book. It's the most horrible thing ever written. There's passages in there in Leviticus that says, if your daughter isn't a virgin on her wedding night, take her out to the town and stone her to death.
Yep.
And God condones that shit. According to
Horror Normal. I think that I would encourage you to read it again. I think that Satanism isn't how to get on top. It's how to make sure that you're living your most authentic life. It says, try hard, do your best, do what feels good. There is a statement about not doing unjust harm. There is a statement about doing harm when it's just. but I don't think that it's about wanton, like, fuck you, fuck this, fuck everybody. I think it literally is just, let's have a good ass time while we're here. Let's do our best. Let's try our hardest. Let's take some chances. Let's have a little sex, make a little love, get down tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to tell you, actually all demons, when you get into the occult, like me and Mr. Spee are in, we practice what's called demonolatry, not to be confused with demonology. Big fucking difference. Big difference. But we practice demonolatry. And when you read about these demons, and when you study these demons, and when you conjure these demons, when you call these demons, and when you give petitions, which is kind of sort of like prayers, but not quite. When you petition these demons, there are demons in what's called the Goetia, or the, if you want to know about demons real quick, and then I'll get to my point, get the Illustrated Goetia by Aleister Crowley, okay? Anyway, it's a good book. Get it. It gives their form and all their attributes and what they do, et cetera, et cetera. But there are demons in here for healing, for blessing people, protecting people, healing people, blessing people, protecting your home, your children, your family. These are demons. And you know what? I am going to just give me a second here, because
while he's finding what he's finding, I think that there's two different forms of protection that are important to note. There's passive protection. There's like the I'm going to stand my ground and I'm going to stand up for you. And then there's active protection, where it's like, I'm going to go kick some ass and make sure that nobody's messing with you. And I think that those are two very important distinctions, because a lot of people only see demons as things that act, especially negatively. They're things that attack, things that steal, things that kill. And that's just not what demons are. Demons are their own entities. Many of them are outcast gods from way before Judeo-Christian religion.
Demons are ancient gods from Samaria, Babylonia, Canaan. Baal is a Canaanite god. Beelzebub is a Canaanite god. Belial is a Canaanite thunder god of thunder and fertility and war. Demons are ancient pagan gods.
And I think that if you can work with the likes of Athena and Thor and Odin, then you can work with demons as well, because clearly you acknowledge the power of ancient belief systems.
Well, what I've discovered in my time, take a look at Japan. Japan has demons, and they're widely accepted, and they're there protecting people through a lot of things, through a lot of situations. And it just because something may be dark, it doesn't mean it's not a bad thing. I mean, and like I said, and then you can sit there and say, if it's of the light, it's not always the good thing. And there are deities, demons, angels, whatever the heck, gods that don't give a damn about you, me, or anybody else. And then there's something, hey, I haven't done enough for somebody today. I've only done 54 good acts of kindness towards this person. I need to try harder. And that's a lot of demons.
Well, and the thing is about a lot of these entities, they're primordial. They're the elder of the elder gods. And you cannot compare a demon's morality with human morality. You can't do that shit. It's folly.
I think that if you were to compare it to human morality, I think a really good example would be the FBI or the CIA or the Secret Service or something of that sort, where we're told one thing about them. We're told that they're, protecting America and stuff like that. But there are things that the FBI and the CIA has done that are completely immoral. There's a reason they only release certain information at a time. It's very similar to angels. Like, angels are not all good. Ken has had to cast some out. Angels will fuck up your life if you fuck with them, or sometimes if they're just bored. So it's very much like the FBI. So if you can understand on a human morality level that there are agencies that are you're told that they are for one thing and they act in discordance with that agenda, then you can understand demons. You're told they're for hate and for killing and for all of the negative things, but they can act in discordance with that agenda.
And we don't believe, me and Mistress B, as occultists and demonolators, we don't believe in absolute good or absolute evil.
Nope.
We just don't.
No, that doesn't exist.
So what I wanted to read here, what I wanted to read here was about the demon Florius. There is a petition here, and I'm going to read it. It says, with this infernal prayer, I call to you, Florius. I'm going to use my whole name here, almost my whole name, not all of it. I, Kenneth James Allen, am a celebrant of the infernal realm. Look upon me and look upon my soul, and you shall find the apostle's scar, for it burns in Lucifer's name. May you protect me, may you shield me, and may you keep me from all that threaten and harm me and my family. There you go.
It's the Lord's Prayer, but to an ancient Lord.
Yeah.
To an ancient Lord, baby.
Well, the one thing I will say about you two, you found inner peace a long time ago. I mean, you two brighten up people's lives. You inform people. You educate them. You're not jerks about it. If somebody doesn't believe in what you say, you're not jerks about it. You guys are there. You will add it on to it. Correct me if I'm wrong. You won't argue, but you'll debate with the person. You will have a free range of ideas and concepts that you will work with others. And like I said, those are concepts that people that are occultists, Satanists, alternative faiths, they're supposed to do. And you two do that, and you do it well. And you are open. And that's what I've seen with the few broadcasts you do.
We are definitely open.
Yeah, and you're not, here's another thing. You're not screaming. You're not yelling. You may have a difference of opinion, but you're calm about it. And that's something you can't put a value on. And that's why, like I said, what I discovered with those friends in the past, they do that. They don't scream. They don't argue. And you two live it also. And you and the Smith family, they don't scream. They don't argue. And we're not Christians. None of us are. And guess what?
In the Smith family, they're wonderful people.
Well, thank you. You guys are as well. And I do appreciate you guys coming in. We are all about learning the correct way and, obtaining the knowledge that we may not have either found or known about or, any of that good jazz. So it is all. Go ahead.
I think a really good thing about the paranormal community is that they are accepting, because once you accept that something exists outside of what you've been told exists, you start to open up your eyes to other possibilities. And the easiest way to explain the difference between what you guys do and what Ken and I do is that you guys seek out the paranormal. Ken and I are the paranormal.
Yeah.
I am begging you to please keep in touch with me. I really am. I want to let you see some of the stuff I've done. And besides that, you two are joyful and you're open-minded. I really want to keep up with you two, if that's okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's fine. I am usually accused of being the rated R superstar, so be careful of that.
Oh,
that's
God,
for damn sure.
Well, like I said, I mean, every single person that knows me knows I will do what it takes to help somebody out. Do I screw up? Yes, I do screw up. I have my mistakes.
Everybody does. Who doesn't?
We all do. We all do.
But the thing is, I'm not blaming it on Satan. I'm blaming it on myself. I'm blaming it on myself.
And what you just said, that is one of the most foundational satanic precepts.
Yeah. And why do you think I've respected you guys for all these decades? I mean, I'm 45 for God's sakes.
I'm 46, baby.
Well, I'm going to be 46.
I'll be 40 in July. I know it. There you go.
Hey, I'll be 46 in July. But the thing is that with people like the Smith family, PWI, you two, I adore you people. And it's so freaking hard to find true friends that will accept you. And you all do that. And I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm actually right now, I'm looking at the 9 satanic statements. Have you guys ever heard them read? Have you ever read them?
I did briefly. I don't remember exactly.
I would like to read them. Briefly. I would like to read them tonight. Mistress B?
Go for it, baby.
You ready, baby?
Oh, yeah.
Let's do our thing, girl. All right. The 9 satanic statements. And by the way, this symbol you see right here, that is often called the symbol of Leviathan. It's a satanic cross, but it's actually an alchemical symbol for sulfur. All right. So the nine satanic statements in the Satanic Bible, written by Anton Szandor LaVey. Number 1, Satan represents indulgence instead of abstinence.
You only get one life. You got to live it up. I don't think that holding for something, waiting for something is necessarily always the right move. I think that you should live a life of satisfaction always. You know what I mean?
I have always said, live your life to the fullest because you only get one.
Amen.
All right. Number 2, Satan represents vital existence instead of spiritual pipe dreams.
And this is what I was talking about earlier, is that live while you are living instead of living for some afterlife, which may or may not exist. I mean, whether you believe it or not, nobody knows, and that's the thing. It would be the same concept as if you were saying, I don't want to get married because I'm going to marry an alien. We don't know if aliens exist. You may be waiting forever.
Yeah. Wishing and dreaming.
Exactly.
Let's see. Okay, number 3 of the 9 satanic statements says Satan represents undefiled wisdom instead of hypocritical self-deceit.
And this is so important about Satanism. It really wants you to look at your dark side, and there's a type of magic called shadow work, and I think that this pairs nicely with it. And it's really looking at who you are and how you deal with things and the things that you think, and being very, very knowledgeable about that stuff, instead of just saying, oh, well, I'm a good person, I live the way that Jesus does, and then going in the back and, doing all of these horrible things. So there's a difference between living authentically and goodly and acknowledging your dark side versus trying to bury your dark side under some 10 commandments.
Exactly. Like going out and fucking whores on Saturday and then asking for forgiveness on Sunday, right, baby?
Amen.
And Landon,
hey, sorry.
And then saying the loudest he'll eat.
I gotta be me, y'all.
Hey, no, do you?
All right, number 4. It is number 4, right?
Yep.
Number 4, this 9 satanic statements. Number 4 says Satan represents kindness to those who deserve it instead of love wasted on ingrates.
This is where that do no harm but take no shit kind of comes in. I think that everybody is deserving of love to a certain point. You shouldn't love people just because they're people. You shouldn't be forced to. And this is such a huge thing in, I would say, like older school religions, like Jehovah's Witnesses, Mormons. Like, you shouldn't have to love people because they're a member of your church or because they're a member of your family. If they were harmful to you, they do not deserve your love, and you're wasting your love on people who don't deserve it, who will continue to hurt you. So if you are selective with your love, it's the same thing with respect. If you're selective with your respect, I give everybody respect and love until they prove to me they do not deserve it.
I'm always the same way. When we first started with LDS, because that's who we are, I was trying to find my sexuality, and I wound up getting the tattoo. Well, I didn't have my watch on going to church one day, and somebody goes, that's a colorful tattoo. What is that? Well, I told them what it was, and everybody stopped talking to me.
Yeah.
Everybody kind of shunned me. And I was like, all right, you shunned me, I shunned you. I ain't coming back.
That's
And
the way it goes,
there's no reason for you to be shunned when there are I mean, especially in a lot of the older religions. You look at Catholic Church, there are preachers and priests that are revered that are in the back touching little kids.
Right.
Yeah.
But they won't say it unless you watch it on NCIS or something.
Absolutely. You know? Absolutely. And because somebody chooses to have consensual sex with somebody else, they're now an outcast.
Exactly. So I get that one.
Consent
right.
is sexy, guys. Consent is sexy.
Absolutely. Number 5. Number 5 says Satan represents vengeance instead of turning the other cheek. Of course.
This is where the take no shit comes in. I don't think that it's right to always just turn the other cheek. I think if you're justified in taking some vengeance, do it. Do I think that you should murder somebody's entire family for them cutting you off in traffic? No, but flip up the bird. Flip up the bird and keep driving.
Yeah.
Lay on that horn. I do it a lot.
Yeah, that's dangerous. That's dangerous on I-4. You guys know about that.
Yeah.
The road to death.
Yeah. All right, let's see. Number 6. Satan represents responsibility to the responsible instead of concern for psychic vampires.
This one, it takes a little bit to get into. It really means that the people that you surround yourself with should be people that think in an evolved way and people that are responsible for themselves. You cannot continue to help people up and help people up and help people up because eventually it will drain you. My personal philosophy is everybody has to hit their own rock bottom, and at a certain point, you've just got to let them.
Now, how are they going to learn otherwise?
Exactly.
Well,
all right. Yeah. I'm going to move on to number 7. Satan represents man as just another animal, sometimes better, more often worse than those that walk on all fours, who, because of his divine, spiritual, and intellectual developments, has become the most vicious animal of all.
Yeah,
100%.
we're apex predators. That's really what we are. We've fucked the whole ecosystem. We've ruined everything. And if you've ever met a dog and you look at him and you go, how do we deserve anything this good? Well, the answer is we don't. We are not that good. We are not that just. We are not that pure. We just figured out how to make cars and microwaves.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's so true.
Okay, number 8. Satan represents all of the so-called sins as they all lead to physical, mental, and emotional gratification. And yes, they do, baby. Oh, yes, they do.
I think this one is my favorite because I feel like Satan is the fall guy for so many negative things that happen. Everybody says, oh, the devil is out to get you. The devil is out to get you. But really, what does he represent? If you go and you go to the negative of every single, let's say the negative of every single 10 commandment, like love thy neighbor is one of the commandments. Well, you don't have to love all your neighbors because of the principles we talked about earlier. Even thou shalt not kill. Satanism explains it. If it's justified, if somebody's trying to kill you and your family or has done something horrible to your family, like my favorite revenge stories are always the ones where dads would fuck up someone for touching their daughter.
Yep, absolutely. And I would do the same thing. I have a 5-year-old son, and I would physically and I would spiritually fuck up their life.
Yep, we have a 19-year-old daughter and a 8-year-old daughter, so I'm pretty sure we would do the same damn thing.
Exactly. And so it's so, I think that people take Satanism and they put it in these horrible, abstract, all good or all bad qualities. But when you break it down into these examples, it's logical. It really is.
It's extremely logical. Satanism is a profound, it's not a religion, it's a philosophy. It's a philosophy. All right, number 9 of the 9 satanic statements by Anton Szandor LaVey. Number 9 says, Satan has been the best friend the church has ever had, as he has kept it in business all these years.
He's got a legitimate point on that. I mean, he's been good for business. I mean, if you want to think of it that way. I mean, it's like, okay, Satan or a holy cross. I'll get the holy cross. Yeah, keep it going, Satan. Keep going. Hey, I need a cross too. Yeah, keep it going. Here's my cut. Where's my cut? Bad joke.
It's all about fear mongering. That's what religion really is. It's fear mongering. It's being afraid of death, being afraid of hell, being afraid of sin, being afraid of all of these horrible things that Satan is supposedly caused. When, if you look at it in actuality, God has done some of the same thing. He killed all the firstborn Egyptians that
he's done
didn't
a
have
lot worse.
any.
A
Well,
lot
that's
worse.
just the first thing that I could think of. I mean, if you look at the Crusades, or if you look at the way people go into countries and force their way into somebody else's way of life and beat them if they don't bow down to Christianity or some sort of Judeo-Christian belief. If you look at voodoo, for example, voodoo has been practiced for eons and actually had to incorporate itself into the Catholic belief so
That's
that they
right.
could continue practicing without physical retribution.
Yeah, they had to. The spirits or the gods of voodoo are called Loa, L-O-A or L-W-A. So they had to find saints, Catholic saints that were synchronized with these Loa. For example, Papa Legba and Saint Peter. They synchronize Papa Legba and St. Peter because Papa Legba is responsible for opening doors, opening the crossroads, opening the way to the spirit realm, whereas St. Peter is also responsible for opening the way to heaven, etc., etc. Damballa, the snake god in voodoo, is associated with St. Patrick. So there you go.
Well, you have to remember something. I mean, unfortunately, they had to pervert those teachings of voodoo and hoodoo to satisfy the masses and everything. So that they had to go against their own beliefs, make them, they unfortunately had to go against their own beliefs to promote that sort of stuff to keep themselves safe and everything. I mean,
Exactly.
plus, and then you've also got perfect alchemists. They're amazing alchemists. I mean, from the pufferfish, who would have ever thought of that?
Oh yeah, that's brilliant.
Genius.
It is genius. Brilliant.
No, like, yeah, I definitely. And another thing also, there's a store. It's similar to the Crystal Fox, which we all love. There's a store called the Black Cauldron, or My Cauldron. I'm sorry. My Cauldron specifies in this and that and everything. Now, the thing is that this gentleman, I can never remember his name. He has a lot of Satanists come in and everything. And guess what? He caters to them in certain ways, at certain routes and this and that. And some of it's expensive, out of this sight, and some of it's not. I do alchemy. I'm not an alchemist, but I do alchemy in certain forms and fashions and everything. And he will he even pulled out, I can never remember the name of it. It's this root, I think it's flea's-bane that's been blessed by Satanists. And it is good. It is really good. I don't have the money for it. If I had a $50 bill, hell yeah, but I got bills to pay. So, but the thing is, like I said,
we have 1 minute to go, and we are going to hop off here. I did just put our podcast Anchor. It also goes with Spotify. This broadcast show will be on there later tonight. So if you wind up going on the road or, want to go work out or something, need something to listen to.
Yeah, and if you want to tune into the Wizard's Table, we got a podcast too, baby.
Absolutely. Yeah. Put all your links and stuff in the chat. That way everybody has it.
Yeah, we'll come back and add ours to the chat. We're on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Spotify when I get all the episodes up because I'm lazy. We are also on Anchor. So there's plenty of places to reach out to us. If you have any questions, please feel free to tune into our show. We talk about a lot of this stuff. Please feel free to message us. We'll do our best to help if we can. We just wanted to thank you for having us on. We really enjoyed tonight.
I appreciate you two coming in and putting some light on the subject and helping out. I really appreciate that. You guys are really great. Yeah.
And I do want to keep in contact with you too. It's like, damn, these people are too damn amazing. They're too good at what they do. And I'm humbled. Thank you.
Well, send me a friend's request, bro.
Yeah, send me one too.
There you go.
We're
Well, I
Yeah.
have 10. I just need to get you Miss B. So,
Yeah.
Which one? Facebook?
Yep.
Yeah,
Facebook.
Facebook.
I'll send you the
Okay.
deets after we're done.
Thank you.
All right. For everyone that is coming in with us, thank you guys for coming in. It has been a great and wonderful show. I hope everybody enjoyed. If you want another one, just let us know, and maybe we can get together for part 2.
Hail the Dark Lord.
There you go. So everybody have a great night, and I'm going to play our outro and head it out. Yeah, put that title in there as well if they want to get more knowledge on the book that you have. Absolutely. You can put that one in there too, because I might look them up myself. Get some literature going.
All right,
I love
baby.
reading. So, all right, night, y'all.
Good night, babies.
Good night, folks.